Right, Advocate Romeo Nthambeleni joins us now to make some sense of the legal implications. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time, Advocate. Ahead of the sentencing, we heard Dlamini's lawyers pleading with the court to be lenient on her, saying that she earned 110,000 rand per month and that she uses that money to support her immediate and extended family. What did you make of the sentence? Was it too lenient?
Yeah, look, I completely agree, in terms of, the sentence being looked at as lenient, given the history of the accused person, and then the matter of fact that the accused was not the first offender. In law, we say that the punishment must fit the crime. So where you hear the accused person heaping praises at a magistrate, you ask a question whether the purpose was actually fulfilled by the sentence. But safe to say that an option of fine was also available as a method that can be imposed as a sentence in this matter. The question was that dealing with a person who's not a first-time offender, will an option of a fine be a sufficient imposition of a sentence? And the answer is clearly a no. And you could hear from the remarks that there was some sort of praise that was heaped at the presiding officer for having opened the door for an option of a fine that was imposed on an accused person. And from the remarks that she made outside court, you could see that these are kind of people that uses the law as a shield when it is there to protect them, and they use it as a sword when they want to attack. You also heard that there was issues that were being said that the magistrate should be promoted, and you don't understand whether that context is actually coming from a person that was an accused person charged with this kind of an offense, which we can see that is affecting the society in a very bad way.
And in fact, the prosecutor in the matter had lobbied for Dlamini's direct imprisonment, saying that she should be locked up, and saying that accountability is at the pinnacle of the offense and that a certain standard of honesty and integrity is expected of public officials.
Absolutely. We can't put it any higher than that. And, I think the law missed an important opportunity of sending a strong message, and relating to holding public officials accountable for things that they say. I think saying that imposition of a fine of 200,000 it's not an issue that can be paid and you walk away. And that's why we're saying that at an opportune moment where an example could be set, a strong message was missed there, and I don't think that the system can recover from this kind of mistake.
As you speak about the history of the accused person, saying that it should have been factored in before sentencing in this regard, we know, of course, we're talking about the fraud and the 2003 Travelgate scandal, where another fine of around 120,000 rand was paid. What do you then imagine to be the long-term implications on perhaps the legal career of Magistrate Betty Khumalo, especially as we listen to Bathabile Dlamini speaking outside of the court, saying that she hopes that this sentence will not, jeopardize Magistrate Betty Khumalo in any form or fashion?
Yeah, look, it's what we have said already, that you want to use the law as a shield to protect you, and also as a sword to attack when it actually favors you. How do you then speak about the promotion of a magistrate based on one case that the magistrate has made? So for me, those remarks were really not the remarks that could be made by an accused person who was charged and found guilty. So we won't look at the merits and the demerits of why the issue of promotion was already being said by an accused person. I've never had an accused person after having been found guilty and being sentenced talking about a person being promoted. That was completely a shocking remark being made outside. So how it impacts on a career, it's neither here nor there, because when you are looking for a promotion of a person, you look at their cases and their records that, their track record completely in how they are or to actually be promoted. You can't decide the fate of a future of a presiding officer based on one case.
Yeah, and the former minister remains on a warning until she pays the full amount. We know that there were some negotiations put forward by her lawyers in terms of some form of a payment plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think, as you have correctly said, they will ultimately pay the 200,000, and then that will be the end of the matter, and she will walk away, from this matter.
And what sort of precedent do you think this sets now? I mean, looking at the impact of the SASSA debacle and how many people were affected by it, it really was massive.
Look, it's very clear, is that when you are in a political office and you've got money, and you are found guilty, you can pay and you can pay a fine and walk away from it. There's no consequence of direct arrest that can be imposed on you for failing to do your duties and for failing to uphold the law. The amount that we're talking about, of paymaster services, it's in millions and millions of rands, but a fine of 200,000 can be imposed and you walk away looking pretty. You never spend a day or a night in jail. So basically, it doesn't set a good precedent.
And very lastly, being found to have lied under oath, I mean, amounting to perjury, what would the legal implications have been had it not been for this outcome? Just looking ahead.
Yeah, there were two. There was an option of looking at the history of the accused person that a custodial sentence had to be imposed in order to set a very good example, which was at least a minimum of 5 years direct imprisonment. And don't forget that when you impose a sentence, there is also, when you serve half of your sentence, you will be eligible for parole. So it means that if at least 5 years was imposed as a sentence, within 2 years and 2.5 years, the person could have actually be released. And if I can tell you now, if there was a direct sentence that was imposed of imprisonment, she could have appealed to a higher court so that at least we'll see when the higher courts look at the facts of the matter, how they actually decide. So I'm not sure whether the state will appeal this matter and then appeal it to the higher court as well, because that option is still open for the state if they feel that an incorrect sentence was imposed to actually appeal to the higher court.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for weighing in on this matter. Advocate Romeo Nthambeleni talking there about former Social Development Minister Bathabile Dlamini's sentence, paying a fine instead of spending time behind bars.